Alright guys, well, welcome to my YouTube video. Let me start this off by saying the first half of everything I filmed it with the wrong orientation on my camera, so it's pretty much useless, so I have to redo it right now. I'm not really going to redo it because I can't, because the engine was in the car and I was kind of showing all that, so I'm just going to talk about what I did and kind of just catch you guys up to where the video starts. So yeah, you know, just learn from your mistakes, right? So basically in the beginning of the video, what I was going over was showing you guys how something happened with my car at clutch kicker. Started getting progressively worse. I started having ignition cuts. It started backfiring inside the intake manifolds. It was exploding. I made a few people at the track just completely almost jump out of their shoes because it sounded like bombs were going off. I thought I like exploded a lot of things on my car. Like it sounded like the intake manifold blew up and the exhaust manifold cracked, and yeah, it was fun. Where I ended up going for that was, since I'm building this car for Pro 2, I knew I was going to get rid of the turbo. Instead of wasting time trying to diagnose it and fix it and all that, I figured I'm just going to slap my other engine in right now. So I was just kind of talking about everything that I was expecting from the car and what I was hoping to do and what the goals were with this new engine and some of the plans with the E90. But since I lost some of that information, I'm just going to make another video going over the stuff with the E90. That car should be coming back to my house the second this car gets done, so I'm really excited to make a video about that and finally start with that. It's going to be like a whole series. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm so excited for that. It's been one of my dream builds for a while. If you want to get more specific, it was a 1 series, but just that chassis, E90, E82, I love them all, and I'm super excited to get started on that. But let me stop talking about that stuff and just get right into the video. I hope you guys enjoy. Well, that was pretty fun getting the car in here and on jack stands on 4 flat tires, but made it work. It's always that little bump in the driveway. That's the hardest part, but conquered that. It's looking good. While the car was outside, I took care of some of the fluids that I could, like the water, because I didn't feel like flooding my garage with that, and the fuel lines. So it just, all that little stank stays outside. It's coming along pretty good. Almost ready to be pulled, honestly. Not too much, just a little bit of the harness left, the exhaust, the drive shaft, and just a couple oil lines. It should be good. Just got caught up on a few things. Had to lower the subframe a little bit because for some reason the arms did not want to drop this time. But other than that, it was pretty easy. Wasn't too bad to take it out. There she is, the big old snail on it. So hopefully now it'll be no turbo, no problems. You can only hope. So gonna go over everything and make sure I have everything I need. I think I might just be missing like just a few things on the other engine, like a dipstick, but yeah, there she is. She's out on to bigger and better things. I still have big plans with this, but that guy should be gone. No more turbo. Pretty excited. Gonna miss the sounds, honestly, but yeah, like I said before, excited, really excited to see what this thing sounds like, because it was put together with really good parts and really bad parts, like junkyard parts, but ARP rod bolts, all new head gaskets, all new gaskets, LS7 lifters, LS7 head gaskets. This has the BFD Texas Speed cam, LS6 heads, 0.66 dual valve springs. I forgot exactly which ones, but should work, should do the job. I don't think there's really anything that needs to be noted on this engine other than that. Just a cam, stock LS1, upgraded high pressure pump. I'm thinking BMWs here. Upgraded oil pump. Pretty excited. And now I can clean and take care of you. So it is currently the next day from all the stuff that you've seen previously in this video, and I'm gonna give a little update on what has been done so far. There was a few things I didn't show yesterday and a few little obstacles that I had to figure out today. So let me flip the camera around and show you guys what I've been working on today. My engine mount, especially the one on the passenger side, has just been breaking pretty much every time I take it off. I realize there's a crack, and it's been re-welded a bunch, and luckily I have a welder friend down the street because I haven't really learned anything about fabrication, and took it back to him and I was like, hey man, these welds keep breaking, and he ended up making me this cool little, let me see if I can show you a little bit better. Yeah, this cool little reinforcement So that's gonna be pretty sick. I'm having a hard time right now just finding out about the bushings. I really wanted to get that engine in the car tonight, but this is kind of what's stopping me. I can't obviously put the engine in the car without bushing, so I'm trying to see everything else I can do. Probably just get the trans made it up today. I was hoping this could be like a 24-hour thing. I was just really gonna push myself to get it done, but I'm just gonna spray paint this so it doesn't rust, get that taken care of, and then move on down my list. I'm guessing this list isn't gonna include everything, but I spent a good amount of the time today just looking at this engine and just trying to see what I'd have to swap, if anything, for that engine. For the people that don't know, this right here is an LS2 base block. It got bored and stroked out to a 408, but it started its life as an LS2, aluminum 6.0. That is an LS1 right here. And the biggest thing of that, the biggest difference between the two was the cam and crank sensor. So this one was supposed to have a 4th tooth cam and a 56 or 58 tooth crank sensor. I always mix that up. And this one right here is supposed to have 24 tooth crank sensor. Had a little bit of a brain fart there. But after further investigation, the way to tell is you're supposed to look at the crank sensor. Let me see if I can show you guys here. You're supposed to look at this crank sensor right here, as you can see. And if it's black, apparently it has a 24 tooth wheel. And if it's gray, it has a 56 or 58. Well, it turns out they both have a black sensor. And I have two different harnesses here. This one is an LS2 harness. The one in the car apparently is an LS1 harness. I originally thought it was an LS2 harness. It turns out that the crank sensor connector plugs into both of these crank sensors. So that kind of threw me off a little bit, because one being LS2, one being an LS1, one's Gen 4, one's Gen 3. I thought they were supposed to be different. So now the only other differences in that harness is the knock sensor location that I'm not running anyway, so that's not a big deal. And then the cam sensor location, but it looks like it's still gonna be able to reach, and worst comes to worst, I'm just gonna have to extend it. But I was a little bit concerned with, like, maybe it's gonna read differently or something's gonna happen, because it was, now I have a 1 tooth and that was a 4 tooth, maybe it was reading in different ways. So I called Holly and they confirmed with me that it is gonna be different, but it's an easy fix. All that I'm gonna have to do is for the connector that actually plugs into the cam sensor, gosh, having brain farts here, I'm just gonna have to swap pins A and C over, and then apparently, allegedly, everything should work fine and I don't need a new harness. Yeah, so this thing's pretty sick, a lot better than I thought actually, so pretty stoked on my plans that I have for this thing. And now, this would have been in the car, but I'm excited that it's pretty much ready to go in. Like I said, the only thing I'm waiting on is just these bushings. Unfortunately, I was not able to find them anywhere, and I didn't want to put them in absolutely terrible like this. This one's even more shot. I was really hoping to have this done in like 2 days, but it's really close to going in and getting started. After that, it's really not much. Here's the new list. Added a few things to and crossed out a few things from. Pretty hyped with the progress and really excited to see how this goes. I don't know if I mentioned this previously, but one of my biggest concerns now that I'm not turbo anymore, when I was turbo originally, you know, the turbo manifold would come from here and cross over, come to this manifold, and then it would dump down on this side. So I only had one downpipe. Now that it's NA, both the headers are obviously gonna dump right there, go to a Y underneath the trans tunnel. And now that makes this power steering lines, have an electric pump, a potential issue. So I might have to remake that or relocate them or something. I really hope not. The starter also is not the right starter, and it's a lot bigger than your typical F-body starter. So I don't know if that's gonna fit with the harness too. But those are only things I'm gonna know as I go. Overall, excited to just make progress and get this thing closer to being on the ground and moving on our own power. Well, I just got done editing my video and I realized that I also lost my outro. So let me just come on here and just take a quick second just to thank you guys for watching the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I plan on making a lot more content consistently. I have a lot of things lined up, and I've really been dedicating time into learning how to film better and edit better. So it's gonna be a little bit rough in the beginning. I appreciate you guys for putting up with it, and thank you. Hope you enjoy. Till next time.